As you guys can see beside me, and like the title says, this is my vintage clothing collection. You guys seem to love collection videos, which this one will be kind of interesting to see how it performs because it's not a specific brand. Like I have my Car Whip collection, the Revenge collection. I should do a Supreme collection. I got a lot of Supreme too, but and Palace. But I don't know. You guys love these collection videos. I love vintage clothing, so I wanted to make this video. Also, before we get too far into it, let me do a little bit of self-promo for my brand, FACADE. We got the FACADE Miserable crew neck. This is puff print. Turned out real nice. We got another colorway of this, but this won't be releasing until the fall because it's hot, especially where I'm at. It was like 110 yesterday. And then we also have these, the tactical harnesses, which I'm hyped about. I really like these. Got one for myself. This will be releasing very soon. Actually, as of this video coming out, it might already be out. It might already be sold out. But yeah, these release June 24th. But if you're watching this before then, you know, obviously go check if you want one. The FACADE website as well as the Instagram are linked in the description down below. I really appreciate it if you go drop a follow. Trying to grow the brand, but that's all I got for self promo. Back to the video. So why do I love vintage clothing? Vintage clothing to me is a really creative way to express yourself through like graphic tees of things you enjoyed way back when. Like I have some bands that I like. I got some other stuff, like a movie that I'll get into, which is the first one I'll get into, but I've always enjoyed it for that. Like pretty much any old TV show or old movie, old anything, you'll be able to find some sort of vintage clothing, and you can get that where it has that nostalgia factor, and a lot of the old designs are really dope. Another thing is the quality. They just don't make stuff like they used to. A lot of the new tees for merch, especially like band merch and stuff, is made on cheaper blanks, so you get stuff like Gildan, but these old blanks, like the All Sport, I think there's another one. Yeah, I guess these two are All Sport, which are some of the blanks that I really like. So those ones are nice. I love that stuff, and really good quality on a lot of the older pieces, older tees. Another reason people like vintage clothing is because it's not fast fashion. It helps like combat that. Instead of buying something that might not be in style in a couple years, you're getting something secondhand, third, fourth, fifth, sixth hand, you know, hand-me-downs, reused, recycled, instead of just having a t-shirt go to waste. You're buying it. Also, there's a lot of good people on like Grailed, things like that, which is where I get a lot of my pieces. I do a lot of thrifting, but I just don't find the heat in the thrift. Like you'll see Jacob Starr or something find a couple $100 Akira or Nirvana tee. That's just not happening to me. And yeah, so those are some reasons to get into vintage clothing if you're not into vintage clothing. But with those out of the way, let's jump into the collection. Probably gonna be a shorter video. There's only like, I don't know, 9-10 pieces here, so not a whole lot to talk about. But like I said, these pieces have meaning to me, so I'll give the little backstory. Maybe you guys will enjoy that. So first off, we have this t-shirt right here, The Mummy Returns, which this comes in a couple different variants. I got this off of Grailed for under 20 bucks, I think. You can find them really cheap. It seems like the Mummy Returns one specifically, there are a lot on there, but this one, not all of them have this. It has the Panasonic and then Fry's Electronics, which if you guys are familiar with Fry's, like the grocery store and stuff, also the electronics, but I think they closed out a lot of those. But yeah, I love The Mummy. I'm a huge Brendan Fraser fan. If you guys are familiar with The Mummy, if you're not familiar with The Mummy, I suppose, this is a trilogy from the late 90s to early 2000s, I think. There was The Mummy, Mummy Returns, and then I think Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. And they starred Brendan Fraser, who is the inspiration for my haircut that I've had the past couple of years. Whenever I go to the barber, I just show them a picture of Brendan Fraser, and I'm like, make me look like this. But yeah, they've always been like fun movies to watch. They're not crazy good, like, you know, critically acclaimed. Maybe they're critically acclaimed, I don't know, but they're not the best movie. Don't go into expecting like a Godfather tier movie with like all this depth. It's just kind of like a funny mystery little like semi horror show, and Yeah, it's good. I do enjoy those films, and I had to pick this up. And I do like the version that has the Panasonic. I think it's like a cool little detail. So, moving forward, we have another film. This one is probably less, people will be less familiar with this one. This one is Legends of the Fall, starring Brad Pitt, obviously. You guys can see we got Brad Pitt here, just huge graphic going on. I think this movie came out in like 1996. I had to pay a little bit more for this one. Obviously, it's got a big picture of Brad Pitt, so people are going to charge a crazy amount for it. And I actually looked for these on Grailed. I got this one on Grailed. I was looking for this one for a long time, probably like 2 years. I was watching the prices because people were charging over $100 for them. It was like 100, 150. I think some people were even charging like $200 for them. This one I got way less. Got for way less. I forget how much I spent. I think it was like 50, which is up there for vintage tees. But the reason I got this, the sentimental value that it has for me, is I was actually named after Brad Pitt's character in this film. So my parents watched it and they're like, hey, that's a dope name. And then they named me. I'm also a big Brad Pitt fan. I like a lot of the movies he's in. So easy cop, and took a long time to get that one. So I was really hyped when I got that. Moving forward, we have the Saliva Back Into Your System shirt, which I'm not sure how old this one is, like early 2000s. The other ones, this one at least is like mid 90s, but yeah, I just absolutely love this font. I'm also a huge fan of this album. This is probably my favorite Saliva album. If you guys aren't familiar with Saliva, they're like southern rock, kind of like heavy rock. They sing Superstar, they sing Almost, bunch of good stuff. My favorite song My favorite song in particular is probably Rest in Pieces, which is also off this album. Just once again, great album, and I love this font. If you guys notice, we've used this font for the FACADE Superstar logo, which is on these straps right here. It's also kind of funny too, because Supreme has a graphic of a different Saliva cover. I forget what album it is, what the name of the album is, but the cover is just this girl. Then she has a necklace. Instead of saying Saliva, they swapped it to Supreme. But yeah, I really like this tee. And on the back, you have Saliva, you have the band members, Josie Scott in the center, and then you have locations, tour dates on the back. I obviously did not intend this tour. I would have been like, I don't know, like 6 or 7 maybe. But yeah, love this tee. Got it for a steal on eBay, I think. I don't know. Sometimes eBay, you can get some real good vintage prices. Sometimes Grailed, everybody is charging like super high because Grailed is all clothing. eBay has pretty much everything. So sometimes you'll get some good steals on there. All right, moving forward, we have a shirt that I wear a lot. You guys have definitely seen this because I wear it in a lot of videos. My Nissan Life is a Journey, Enjoy the Ride tee. I think this is a really fun graphic. You got like a G.I. Joe figure. Yeah, like a Barbie figure, and then she's sitting, of course, in her little red Nissan, which I also have a little red Nissan, but instead of this model, it is a 240SX. So I've always been a fan of Nissan. I like their 350s, 370s, the like Z series, if you will, Skylines. I don't know. I really do enjoy Nissan, and I thought this was a really fun graphic. You have the action figures done in a creative way, like a playful way, and then a cool little quote and a Nissan logo down at the bottom. So I really like this tee. I thought it was really interesting and fun. So yeah. All right, moving forward, we are getting into my motocross, snowcross, extreme sports, whatever you want to call it, type graphics, because I think the vintage motocross, snowcross, dirt biking, snowmobiling jerseys are so dope, so sick. I love the graphics that they use on this stuff, and I also really like the cotton jerseys. I like these mock necks. They're really comfortable. A lot of them also have padded elbows, which are comfy. I work like an office type job, so I got my elbows resting on my chair a lot of the times, or like a table, so it's nice to have little elbow pads for that. This one specifically is an Arctic Cat Racing cotton jersey, which is snowmobile. We got some other brands up here, Scott, Woody's, Daco, but A lot of this stuff just really reminds me of my childhood. My dad was into like dirt biking. He did, not professional, but he'd do like races and stuff. And then snowmobiling as well, but he did not race snowmobiles. But really reminds me of that kind of stuff. Growing up, I was, you know, exposed to a lot of that scene. I myself, you know, I dirt biked for a couple years in my infancy, my formidable young child elementary years, if you will. After that, though, I swapped to four-wheeling, and then I myself never really got into snowmobiling. I just like love these graphics. I love the colors that they used, the blanks, the silhouettes. You know, it's great. Like they have the pretty tight elastic cuffs, and then on the torso, they're kind of split into a jersey, so it's like the front is a little bit shorter, the back's a little bit long, and it's always done kind of like this raw edge with no elastic band, which I really like. And then you get the mock necks up on the top, so that's always nice. Let me actually skip forward and do this next one. That is a Polaris jersey. This time around we have the big Polaris neck branding on the mock neck, this little ribbing right here, which I'm a big fan of mock necks. I'm a big fan of branding on the neck. I've always thought that's a really creative space to utilize. So I really like that. I love the colors that they got going on here. You got this big Polaris spell out. You got the purple, the red, the blue. It all goes together really well. You got this little like Polaris star in red right here. And it fades into the blue. It said ATV on the bottom. I actually had a Polaris Predator too, so shout out that. That's what I was ripping around in for middle school and high school sometimes. So, and then on the sleeve, you have the same spell out, a little bit smaller. We got blue and purple surrounding it. And then this always, every time I see this, it really reminds me of like the YouTube play button, but you got the little Polaris star inside. Did YouTube steal that logo from them? I don't know. Another touch that I really like is for the cuffs. Once again, you got like the tight elastic cuffs. They're red, which stands out really well. And then once again on the bottom, following suit for that Arctic cotton jersey, we have the same thing where it's raw bottoms and stuff. So man, I really, really love the graphics and the styles that they use on this type of stuff. And moving forward, away from snowcross, or I guess that was ATV, but we have motocross. So we got Supercross, Series X, United States. You got the Coors Light, Classic, AMA, Sprocket gear, a bunch of branding, Supercross X Series on the sleeves. On the back, you got this big kind of like carnival style font used and coloration. The USA Tour, they have a bunch of cities. But yeah, I believe this is from like late 90s, so I definitely did not attend this. I would have been like 2 years old, but yeah, I really, really love the colors on this one. Once again, the yellows and the greens are really cool. I really like the jumbo prints going along the sleeves, and they're all the way around. It's interesting like how they would do this, because yeah, you see like a split, so it's like they printed half of the sleeve at a time. And yeah, it just looks really cool. You get the gradient on the bottom where it just starts to fade out smaller and smaller dots, making me think that it's probably screen printed, but very cool. And then on the back, you have the same thing, this like big ball almost looking like a flying meteorite or something. But yeah, I really like this shirt. Another one of my cool pieces. All right, next up we have the Leinenkugels tee, which you guys have probably seen me wear. I actually wore this in my Foam Runner unboxing video that I just put up, I think. But this one's another one I got off Grailed. This one was super cheap. I think this is like 15 bucks, which buying off Grailed is not the cheapest way to get these pieces, but is kind of like the best browsing, the best like catalog to choose from. Like I said, you can go thrift for pieces, but you're not going to find that much heat, in my opinion, in terms of graphic tees, especially how rampant the vintage resale market is nowadays. But this is Leinenkugels. If you guys aren't familiar with Leinenkugels, they make beer. They are based out of Wisconsin, like a lot of breweries, but which, you know, if you guys don't know the significance there, I was born and raised in Wisconsin until I was 18, moved to Iowa for college, and then I was back and forth. I've been back and forth, but yeah, I do have some love for the place. And this is actually probably my favorite beer. I really do like their summer shandies, and like shandies in general. They're always pretty good. But yeah, we got the Liney Lodge, this little log cabin, some evergreen trees reminding me of home. Shout out the Northwoods. We got this little moon almost in the background, and then the big Leinenkugel spell out in this nice red. The blanket itself is this interesting like olive color. And on the back we have this blurb of text about drinking beer or something by one of the Leinenkugel brothers. But yeah, this one is pretty thrashed. The collar is all torn up. The pits had to be re-sewn because there are holes in those, but very, very comfortable, which actually goes for a lot of these pieces, which is another upside of buying vintage clothing. A lot of the times it's not going to be dead stock, it's going to be used, in a lot of cases thrashed. So moving forward, we have my my cat collection, my caterpillar collection, which I don't know, maybe my love for the brand first started when my dad gave me a bunch of these cat hats. So my dad owns an auto shop, and I worked in that for several years. My hair was longer back then, so I needed a hat, or my hair was like the same length, like also long back then is what I meant to say. So I needed a hat to keep it on my face. So my dad gave me these hats, and he didn't care if they got dirty because they were already like pretty dirty. Like this one is pretty thrashed. I really want to maintain it though, and not, you know, I right now I use it for running, so it's still getting beat up and it gets like washed a lot because it gets all sweaty. But I kind of want to just, you know, set it aside, find another running hat. This is so comfortable. It's so worn in, and yeah, man, I love this hat. Shout out the Revenge History video, my like magnum opus, my Mona Lisa, the thing that popped me off. I was wearing that. People were like, you can't wear Revenge and cat. I do it all the time. But moving forward, we have this cat tee, which I was really hyped for when I got it. It also has this almost like mock neck, like the collar's super thick, but the fit on it is really, really strange. I don't know. Sometimes I vibe with it. Other times I'm just really not feeling it. It's really hit or miss for me sometimes when I wear this. I personally think it works best when you have like a beanie or something else to put on top. But it is an odd fit, just like how the blank fits. Not my favorite vintage blank, but I do love the cat logo itself. And move forward to the last piece we have. Like I said, the cherry on top for my cat collection. And dude, I've never seen anything like this before. This piece has a very funny backstory, or I guess maybe not funny, but like crazy backstory in my opinion, as far as buying a piece off of Grail. But before we get into that, like I've never seen a piece like this. I've never seen the cat logo done in a red, white, and blue like this, or you know, cream but red and blue. I've never seen it done like this. And the person listing it had this colorway, this cream colorway, and then also a navy colorway, which I think it was, the blank was navy, and then the cat spell out was white, and it still had the red triangle. But very cool. I've never seen a crew neck done like this like vintage blank. I don't know, the bottom is like split too. Very interesting. But yeah, I saw this, I was like, I need it, and then I buy it, and that was on like February 23rd or something like that, February 22nd, which Russia decided to invade Ukraine like the next day or like a couple days after. And I go and look at where this is from, where it's getting shipped from, and it's getting shipped out of Ukraine. So yeah, this thing probably took like 2-3 months to show up, but the guy I bought it from, super nice, and like sent out messages giving updates. He was like, obviously there's a war going on in my country, so customers are going to be experiencing delays. And it was just like a copy and paste message that I'm sure he sent to everybody, because this dude had like thousands of sales or like hundreds of sales. But yeah, I bought this and was hyped to get it, but didn't realize that was coming from Ukraine, and then also that was like a day or two before the Russia invasion. So yeah, but I ended up getting it like 2-3 months later, like I said, and it's dope. I just can't wear it too much right now because it's so hot outside, and I don't know if I look sweaty, but I'm really hot right now. I just had to throw on the facade drip. It's like 110 outside. I'm standing right next to some windows. But yeah, this is it. This is the last vintage piece that I have. I think I grabbed everything from my closet. my closet is a huge mess. Some people were asking for like a full closet tour, which I have done before, but that was when I had 2 closets and everything was a lot better organized. Right now I just have like a smaller closet, and then the rack on top is literally just clothes, like 4 piles of clothes like this high, jackets, trench coats. You guys know me, I love trench coats, but just tons of clothes. So maybe sometime in the future, but for now I really would rather do these broken up, ordered, you know, collection videos. Like I said, maybe I'll do a Supreme one, a Palace one. I do have a lot of both those brands. I'm not too much into either of them anymore. Honestly, I've been moving just toward making my own stuff, like the facade stuff, which once again, please go show some love, go follow us. We're down, link down in the description below. There are some tees that have this graphic, but like I said, these crew necks will not be dropping until sometime this fall. But yeah, that's all I got. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm not sure how it's going to perform just because it's not a big brand. It's not like, ooh, big revenge collection or anything like that. But I do really enjoy vintage. And I don't know, it's such a cool way to express yourself by getting these tees that are so specific to you. Like, I'm named after this movie, which is why I got it. And then somebody's like, oh, crazy movie. Like, I was at the grocery store one day with that, and somebody's like, I wouldn't even expect somebody your age to know about that movie. And I was like, actually named after it. But yeah, I think it's cool. It's a cool way to express yourself, which is really what clothing is. That's all I've got though. As always, thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.